Yeah, 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 yeah. Why, yeah, why, yeah, why, yo, 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 yo. Ooh, we got some stuff coming. I don't know why I'm sitting in the dark. Mm. Why am I in the dark? Why isn't this loading? Somebody help. Why are y'all doing this to me today? It's gonna be the longest day ever. Am I? Are you fucking with me? Yo, this is like it's not real life. Can't be. This can't be. What the fuck happened? My light's blue. Like mad blue. Why are you doing this to me? Are we good? We're good. Don't touch anything. Don't touch that dial. What's going on, beautiful people? Kasabian Lavoe here. Welcome back to the Kasabian Lavoe Show. Excuse me. This is like the first episode where my tonsils haven't been completely swollen, so I'm kind of happy, but my voice still sounds hoarse, like terribly hoarse. All right, let me start recording and get to these topics. Thank you for being here. Welcome back. We took Monday off because it was Labor Day and we're laborers, so we took some time off. We appreciate y'all and thank y'all for hanging out with us. In America, we don't understand the difference between having a good time and being poisoned. Today, we will learn the difference. I think that's important. No jokes. I want to enjoy these tunes. If you're not listening to the music, it's because you're watching. So if you want to hear the music, head over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and take a listen. I'm not even going to tell you what we're listening to. What's a good song? Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just. See? He said he's cooler than the polar bear's toenails. It's Kasabian. Kasabian Lavoe wine. What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Kasabian Lavoe. Welcome to the Kasabian Lavoe Show, live from Las Vegas, episode 230. And I'm back behind the microphone with talent on loan from God, as my mentor would say. I still think that's a fly ass intro, and we getting better at saying it. You feel me? Oops. Did y'all hear that? Please don't boot boot me in front of the audience. I gotta make the stupid letters bigger on the prompter. Oh, I'm getting old. Oh boy, oh boy. All right, let's get into these topics. You know, we've had a pretty shitty weekend. I mean, it's like this consistency of just not good news. But let's try to have a little bit of fun with what we got going on today, and hopefully some closure and maybe more information as to what's really going on out there. Here's one of my just like random facts for today. Apartments on higher floors in New York City used to be cheaper because there wasn't elevators, so you had to walk. So because you had to walk further, it became less valuable. When the elevator came along, it changed the game. Also, Kodak was the company that basically invented the digital camera, which put them out of business. Those are my random facts for today. I just wanted to put that out there. That apartment thing was crazy, though, to think that they were paying high premiums for the first floor. Like, that was the spot. That was crazy. We're going to talk about, I saw this random, like, doc clip from Woodley and Paul, and I just wanted to get into that. The game's lawsuit woes, which I think are pretty interesting. They tapped into his Cash App. Like, I don't know why that was even a thing. Like, why is it even necessary for them? I don't know. We'll talk about it. But my big story for today is Joe Rogan wants to sue CNN for lying on him. And they said put some respect on his name. He said they're lying on him and we're going to talk about it. Also, all these overdoses are not overdoses. Excuse me. They're not overdoses at all. In reality, these people have been poisoned and they have spiked drugs. We'll talk about that. And we'll give our condolences to all the families of these entertainers that lost their life this weekend. And then Texas abortion laws are, okay, a little fucking out there. And I'm going to give my opinion on it and mine only. And we'll also talk about Caitlyn Jenner and what she said. Remember, she's still running for governor in California, so this is actually pretty interesting. Also, Mexico had a crazy earthquake this morning. We'll talk about that. And Britney Spears is free, I think. And Trump Jr. are supposed to... Trump Jr. Yeah, Don and Don Jr. are going to be doing commentary for Holyfield. We're going to be talking about all this, and let's really get into it, because that one was something. So I was on YouTube randomly. Showtime put up something that said how I beat Woodley. And of course I was interested. Now, here's the fucked up part. When you watch it, it's slow motion of the fighting. And Jake looks terrible in slow motion. I don't give a fuck. That looks so bad. And guess what? Woodley whooped his ass. Like, Woodley looked way better in slow motion. That whole shit looked terrible. They even tried to flip it at the end. That was actually pretty funny how they thought that they could take it and make it something that it wasn't. Like, I thought that was interesting. It was great to think that he won, and I see what they're doing. They're chasing the bag. Don't let this fool you. The bag will be gotten. And that's all this shit's about. So that wasn't important, but I thought it was cool to talk about because I thought it was funny. I really find the idea that these guys think that this is going to change sports like a thing. I think we're all just paying to see him get knocked out, right? That's all. And I think Woodley knows that the bag is in chasing him down, not knocking his ass out on the first go. So the game is dealing with a lawsuit, okay? And this lawsuit comes way back from 2015. And I had to go digging through some blogs, and hip hop lately had all the information that we needed. So I'll take you back to the beginning of this story and into where we are at today and what's going on. So if y'all didn't know, Game had a TV show for a short period of time. I think it was on VH1. I don't even think that even mattered. It doesn't seem like he protected himself at all during this show. It was a VH1 show called The Bachelor-esque. Wasn't that his game? Yeah, She's Got Game. Whatever. So it was a weird show. Like, it didn't last at all. But anyway, Jason Taylor starred in the VH1 show She's Got Game while filming in Chicago in 2015. Taylor took Priscilla Rainey on a date to a sports bar, and it wasn't filmed. And she said she was sexually assaulted, and he repeatedly lifted her skirt and groped her while others were watching in the bar. This was the first lawsuit that popped this whole thing off. Now, the real thing that stood out in this all was that this wasn't filmed for the show, and then Game just didn't care. Like, he didn't address this at all. I thought that he at least sent an attorney. Nobody was there on his behalf. This young lady went to court. She sued Game for $10 million for the sexual assault, and she was awarded $7.1 million by the judge because Game didn't show up. That was back in 2015. So fast forward to today, and this is weird. They took his Cash App. There was only $2,000 on it, but they seized his Cash App, and they've taken his royalties. But from what I heard, the royalties got sent over to somebody else, so they couldn't take the royalties because he sold his royalties, so he doesn't have any royalties, and I don't know how that all works. Now, the only reason why I find this interesting, one, it's been dragged out forever and ever and ever. Now, a judgment usually doesn't go this far. Like, I really don't understand why they're dragging him and they're not even letting him go back and fight it. And I'm still curious as to what VH1's role is in this. Like, goddamn, if I go do a TV show and they don't want to take any responsibility for anything. Like, you hired this person to be on this show. If I don't know if what he did was true, but because he didn't show up to defend himself, these are the allegations and the charges that he got. And that's what sucks. Why not show up and defend yourself? Like, that's weird. It's a weird case. Look, always stand up for yourself. And if you did do this, that's kind of shitty, dude. Like, why would you, like, what's the point? She's already on a TV show. Like, I don't know. Fellas, keep your hands to yourself when you go out. There's no need to be doing that fuck shit. Don't be fuck boys. Like, you see him tweeting all his stupid ass tweets and shit, talking all relationship talk, and it makes you think, well, damn, if you so goddamn virtuoso with relationships, why couldn't you figure this one out? Either way, he's still dealing with this lawsuit, and it sucks because if they're hitting his Cash App, they're going to hit all his shit. Like, it's going to get ugly for him. And I wonder how long she could drag this out for. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be, I apologize. I don't mean to be insensitive to the situation. Well, I'm just curious as to how long you can even have a judgment against someone and how long you can press that, right? I'm just real curious. This whole thing is weird to me. And again, what does VH1 have to do with this? Like, VH1 hasn't said, Dick, are they defending themselves? Are they defending him? Was there any insurance on this? I don't know. Both of those stories are from Hip Hop Lately and the Hollywood Report. Like I said, I had to dig. These are old stories. What else is going on? Shut up. Rogan. I think Joe Rogan is hilarious. And the fact that Joe Rogan had to come out and tell people that he went to a doctor for his medicine is still beyond me. Like, I've had this argument with people. And I mean, as a matter of fact, just if you look at the ads, look at Twitter, the FDA is tripping. Like, why would they even lead people to believe that he's honestly taking horse medicine? And what's the difference between human medicine and horse medicine? Somebody explain, right? Because last time I checked, when I gave my dog a Benadryl, I was looking, and they're both the same. So I think medicines can be used for both as long as you're a mammal. I don't think there's any difference. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying. But I know for a fact that there's two different medicines. One's for horses and one's for people. So Rogan went to a doctor and took medicine for people. Now, on his podcast yesterday when he returned, he was talking to Tom Segura, and he said, yo, I think I got to sue CNN. And I thought it was interesting that was his approach to it, was I got to sue CNN. Like, mad people have been talking shit, but I think it's interesting that he wants to sue CNN. Like, that's a big feat. And I think he could win because they keep on saying that he's taking, I mean, everybody's saying he's taking horse medicine. And in reality, that's not true. It's complete bullshit. This medicine works. There's a bunch of countries that are actually saying that this medicine is working and they're using it to help. And it basically helps if I understand this right, and again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not anything, I'm just telling you what I know. Ivermectin is supposed to help the viral load, which I guess assists with the healing process because COVID makes you have the fever and it makes your antibodies fight themselves. So I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but Rogan did not take horse medicine. It's not a thing. He went to a doctor. He didn't just walk into a fucking pet store. Yes, some people can walk into pet stores and find the medicine, that same name, but if you look closely, it's not the same. There's a difference. There's a very big difference. And honestly, you shouldn't be taking anything from a pet store anyway. Just saying, like, no matter if it does say the same name, like, just do better as people. You know what I'm saying? But can we stop saying that Rogan took horse medicine and he's just a crazy kook? Because that's not the case. He actually got better in 2 days. Like, it worked. How come they never say that? Like, that's what really bothers me when it all comes to the COVID thing, that when you talk about solutions, it's always, it's a crazy ass solution from the internet. No. Doctors are the ones that are telling us these solutions and they're working. Why? I mean, you're censoring doctors? It's weird. This whole shit just keeps on getting weirder and weirder. I really hope he does go through with it because, I mean, these giant conglomerates get away with just smearing people's names all the time. And then when it all boils down, they go, yeah, my bad. Scoop it under the rug like nothing ever happened. I don't know. Am I lagging? I feel like I'm lagging. I don't know. I do hope that he sues them. I'm sorry. I just don't understand why. There's this, the Trump, the Trump hatred kept going for certain things attached to Trump. And this one was the worst one because if people really need to take it, a lot of people don't want to take it because of Trump. And then the other people are going to say, well, this ain't Trump's, or I shouldn't take it. I don't need it. Bro, I'm saying take it because there's more positives than negatives. And unfortunately, at the moment, we're starting to see the strong fall. I've been seeing a lot of healthy people going down, and it's scary. This is terrifying. And it leads me into our next topic, and it's not a fun one to talk about. It's actually very depressing to get into, but it needs to be addressed. And there's two things that's going on that drive me fucking crazy. First and foremost, fentanyl is not a drug that people are choosing to take. Okay? It's not an overdose. One, when your drugs are spiked with fentanyl, it's not an overdose. Your drugs were spiked. That's one. Unless you chose to take fentanyl, you didn't overdose on fentanyl. That's first and foremost. Two, Just because somebody wants to get high doesn't mean they have a drug problem. Nobody died of a drug problem here. They were poisoned. So let's continue. Rest in peace to Michael K. Williams. Fuquan? Why is his name so hard to say? But I know how to say his name, just my mouth can't say it. Fuquan Johnson, Natalia Williams, and Enrico. Oh, I'm going to butcher his last name, and I apologize. Kolenek. All these people died in the past 2 days of drugs laced with fentanyl. The stories that keep coming out about these drugs and about what happened with them was an overdose. This isn't an overdose. Nobody wanted fentanyl. Nobody asked for fentanyl. They wanted cocaine. They wanted to get high and go fuck or get high and have a good time. What is wrong with that? Stop. You guys are so fucking weird. I work for a Fortune 500 company where 90% or more drink. Nobody bats an eye when we're all together at the company fucking party, clinging glasses, busting open the Dom Perignon. But if I smoke a joint, I have to remove that shit and make sure I'm not wearing anything that shows the company name because it'll cause an issue, Kasabian. Nobody wants to see you smoking weed. That's insane, right? To me, weed is way healthier than drinking alcohol. Weed doesn't affect my weight. Weed, it does change my mood, but it doesn't affect me in a way that I say I was impaired. I don't get high and dry. That's not my shit either, but I like getting high. I have a lot of fucking stresses. I deal with a lot of mental shit that you wouldn't understand. And fuck walking a mile in my shoes. I dare you to take half hour in my fucking brain. You're going to need some weed, dog. It's rough in there. None of these people were bad people. None of them. But the news won't tell you the truth. They were poisoned. They were tricked by shitty drug dealers that don't know how to cut drugs and are not, there's a code to the street, bruh. We've lost the fucking code. But you cannot cut your drugs with fentanyl and think that you're not going to hurt somebody. Sorry. This is insane. Fentanyl is so deadly. Like, if we get into fentanyl, it's very, very, you can touch it and you can overdose from fentanyl. Like, they busted a guy with like a half key and they're like, yo, that half key could kill the whole eastern seaboard. Again, it's not an overdose. This is not drug addiction. They did a little cocaine. So what? People do cocaine. Big fucking whoop. You got kids on Ritalin. Don't tell me shit about motherfuckers doing cocaine. Y'all do worse. You do worse. Please don't tell me about the medicine you take from the doctor and tell me you have a problem with people doing cocaine. Like, stop it. Bro, if you drink coffee, shut up. You drink those dick pills at the gas station, shut the fuck up. This is not a drug addiction. Somebody that wants to do a little bit of coke and fuck or whatever it is, do a little bit of blow and eat, that's nobody's business. And guess what? That's their right. They can do what the fuck they want. Do drugs. Be safe. Be careful. I would say at this point, we're going to have to walk around with testing kits and start pressing these fucking drug dealers and shit, yo. Stop selling these fucking bunk ass drugs. You're killing people. One of the girls survived from the comedians that all got hit. She's actually one of the openers for Joey Diaz. If you know the fucking stories that Joey Diaz had, this type of shit scares me for people like him. People just want to have fun. I don't want to hear it. People want to have fun. I'm not here to say do drugs. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that live your life and do what the fuck you want. But shitty drug dealers that are cutting drugs with fentanyl killing people is wrong. And I'm sure it's going to get demonetized. But you know what? This shit has to be said. This is not a drug addiction. And these people didn't overdose. These people were poisoned by shitty drug dealers. And they thought they had the bomb smack. And what they did was kill people. You're irresponsible. And you killed people. That's a fact. None of these people were drug addicts. Stop it. They're not junkies. They're not sucking dick for fucking rock. These people aren't stealing things to get high. No, they went and they bought some cocaine from a reputable person, they thought, and they wanted to have a good time. And instead of having a good time, they're dead. Dead or some were critically injured and made it. But nonetheless, that's not what they were. They're not just sitting around in a fucking crack house. Like, you cannot say this was an overdose. They're not sitting around just banging needles and shit. This isn't the fucking 90s. All right, like, that's crazy. It's fucking crazy. I was blown away when I read that because I keep on seeing overdose. I'm like, if it's an overdose, you would kind of choose. Like, especially if I thought if I thought I was doing cocaine and I had fentanyl, I don't even do cocaine. I just smoke weed, but I'll be goddamn if somebody sprinkles some shit in my weed. That's why I'm just sticking to wax. Just sticking to wax. Horse tranquilizers are like Quaaludes. Sure. But we're not talking about horse tranquilizers. We're talking about a medicine that when you remove a certain molecular structure from it, it turns into a horse dewormer. And when you add that piece to it, it becomes medicine for humans. And it actually got a Nobel Prize in 2015 for how good it does. And it's made in America. So that's that about the horse medicine. And rest in peace to everyone that we lost. And please don't treat these people as animals. Do not sit around and say that they had mental issues and they were drowning their pains in drugs. I don't think that at all. I think these people were just having a good fucking time and they were poisoned. That's how I feel. That's my opinion. I think it's bullshit too. This shit is just not cool. So there was earthquake. Oh, no. Let's talk about the Texas abortion law. Okay. I understand that when we start to get into abortions, it gets sticky. I'm going to be completely just transparent. We've had a few, and I'm for women's rights. Whatever the woman wants to do, I'm completely supportive. I'm not the one having the baby. I cannot. That's like, you can't tell anybody what to do. You know what I'm saying? In this situation. And the idea that 6 weeks is what Texas wants to give you, a 6-week window. Some people don't even know they're pregnant until my friend found out she was pregnant 5 months into it. Like, yeah, she kept her baby, but nonetheless, I mean, she didn't even know. Like, there's so many things that can happen, and it's hard to talk about because it's like walking pins and needles. You don't even know what to say. You don't know who you're going to offend. All right. Let's talk about what Texas says. So Texas passed a law that bans abortions after 6 weeks. Reproductive rights activists have slammed the law, saying it's an attempt to get around Roe v. Wade. Now, everybody said that this was going to be a thing because of all the conservative judges and whatnot. And I mean, I get it. They have a little wishy-washy background. I'm not going to take that from no one, but I will say this. I don't think this has anything to do with conservatives or Republicans. I think this is Texas moving a bit aggressively on certain things, and I don't see how I just don't think anybody should step into this at all. Like, I don't think the government should be funding Planned Parenthood or whatever. They shouldn't fund them. That shouldn't be our tax money for that. But we should have options for people that need this help. And I don't think this is okay. I think this is pretty fucked up. But Caitlyn Jenner spoke on it and said, I'm for women's right to choose, but I'm also for a state to have ability to make their own laws. And I agree, but this law is a bit nuts. I have daughters. I've been through it personally at a young age, at an older age. Like, we've gone through it. Things happen. You just can't necessarily predict what's going on. And I know it's shitty and some people don't like it, but that's why I say that it's kind of hard to have a country based on religion, because a certain religion feels a certain way about this. But there's a lot of people that have abortions and don't feel this religious guilt. Just being honest. And I think Caitlyn is going to be walking a fine line if she continues to speak on things this touchy, because this one can be iffy. It could definitely be iffy. If taken the wrong way, trust me, they spun it quick as shit too. Right when they spun it, they oh, look what she said. She shouldn't be talking about women's rights. Like, it wasn't even nothing about that. Mexico had an earthquake last night. It was a 7.0 magnitude. It struck 2.5 miles northeast of why is that a word that I can't read? Orangenos de San Agustin, about 8 miles from the Pacific coast. That's kind of far. 7.8 miles. Aftershock. At least 92 aftershocks were recorded, including one with a magnitude 5.2. That's another fucking earthquake. Mexico's under some pressure. Pray for Mexico. Let's see what support we can send to help them. This is the type of shit I'm here to help for. I don't really care for the inner fighting of the countries, but this is a natural disaster. We should be helping. The same that we should be doing to go help Haiti, we should be over here helping Mexico. It's just the right thing to do. It's the brotherly thing, the sisterly thing, the family thing. I mean, we're all people at the end of the day. So Trump is back in the news as usual. He knows how to put himself in positions of, I guess, talking points, but this time it's nothing political. Him and his son are going to be doing ringside for Evander Holyfield's fight with Vitor Belfort. He's a UFC fighter. Was supposed to fight De La Hoya. De La Hoya got COVID and looks terrible. Hopefully De La Hoya pulls through this and he's okay, but Evander looks sharp. I just don't know how sharp. We shall see. And Britney's free, I think. We'll talk about it. Miss Spears has told this court that she wants control of her life back without the safety rails of conservatorship. She wants to be able to make decisions regarding her own medical care, deciding when, where, how often to get therapy. She also wants to control her money that she made from her career. She wants to spend it without supervision or oversight. Mind you, her father doesn't even know her. He wasn't around when she was a child. He met her as an adult. Just keep that in mind. Mr. Spears has said again, and Mr. Spears, her father, has said again and again, all he wants is the best for his daughter. That's bullshit. If Miss Spears wants to terminate the conservatorship and believes that she can handle her own life, Mr. Spears believes that she should get that chance. When? The fuck? This is just overnight change. But look, Britney's free. Let's see what happens next. They said she two-pieced her nanny allegedly, but the nanny was like, nah, we good, because Britney was like, here, I'll give you a bag. You just shut up about it. I don't even know if that happened or it didn't happen, but either way, something happened. I don't know. Shout out to Britney for being free. That's a big deal, Britney. You're free. Have you been watching the 9/11 to 2020 and a half doc, 9/11 and a half, the one on HBO? It's driving me crazy. I can't even front. I watch it just to torment myself. I lose my shit every time I see that dude. It doesn't make any sense. Go watch it. It's pretty gnarly. They show some real... we've watched so many 9/11 docs in the past few days that my head really hurts because I saw people jumping. They were jumping. I can see their faces. One guy... oh, man. Those docs are fucking nuts. I got my towers on me. Where you at? Somewhere. They're there. I got them. The docs are crazy. The Spike Lee one, though, ass, bro. I don't give a shit. That is ass. He has done nothing. I watch it just to argue with him the whole time. I swear to God. I want to enjoy it, but he's just so bad. It's just so fucking bad. Anyway, Friday we'll be talking about the Great Resignation. I really want to bring this up. I really want to talk about this. I've been holding back on it because I'm not sure if I got all the information, but I hope I did. I hope I gathered enough. I'd like to get into that. And I'm also going to talk about the economic update that was given today. I didn't want to talk about it because it wasn't good. It just wasn't good. Prices keep going up. Rents keep being skyrocketed. I really don't know what's going on. We shall see where everything lands. But I'll tell you this, September was a terrible month for us because of the Delta variant, and there's no signs of improvement. Right? That's a great way to leave the show. Hey, look out for our new Spotify spot that we made. It'll be on Instagram and YouTube and whatnot. That's for Riding with Kasabian every Saturday, exclusively on Spotify. Head over to kalavoe.com. Check out the pod and everything that we got there to offer. Make sure to check out the Linktree and join the Whale Club. Join the Whale Club. I'm going to do the zoom in thing. Join the Whale Club. It's a secret society. My name's Kasabian Lavoe. Live in the moment. Don't live in the past. Be safe. Stay dangerous.